Genetically modified organisms, or GMOs, have sparked worldwide controversy.
On one side of the issue are major multinational biotech corporations.
Well, on the other side, initially they were just academics and grassroots activists.
But increasingly, top executives from the business and foundation worlds are speaking out, and they're voicing serious concerns.
Now we've opened up Pandora's box.
We are now learning just how dangerous these foods are.
We do not have to go down these pathways.
It may seem like a long way from street protests to the executive suite, but when it comes to GMOs, that gap is shrinking fast. John Wood, Sally Fallon Morell, and Frank King represent a cross-section of CEOs who've come out against genetically modified organisms. All three have built impressive national organizations. John Wood's company is the leading firm in the U.S., supplying grass-fed beef directly to consumers. Sally Fallon Morell is president of a foundation which is working to improve modern diets by eliminating chemicals and additives in favor of natural nutrition, especially healthy fats. And Frank King is a naturopathic physician and developer of hundreds of homeopathic medicines, in addition to being a fourth-generation farmer. All three are concerned about the fact that as much as 90% of food in a typical supermarket contains GMO ingredients. And all three know a lot about agriculture.
I was involved in production commodity agriculture back in the 1970s, and we were introduced to RoundUp.
RoundUp is now the world's most popular herbicide. Its key ingredient, glyphosate, is increasingly being linked to a wide range of health problems, including gastrointestinal disorders, infertility, and cancer. And concerns are growing about the effect of GMO herbicides on topsoil.
You've got more microorganisms in a thumbful of soil than you do people on planet Earth.
Plants depend on healthy microorganisms in soil, but chemicals can kill them, upsetting the natural balance in topsoil that's essential to the world's food supply.
A particular danger of GMOs that affects everyone, whether you eat them or not, is the use of the herbicide RoundUp, which is destroying our soil.
In addition to running an influential national foundation, Sally Fallon Morell owns and operates a 92-acre farm in Maryland.
One of the things we're trying to do at our farm is encourage farmers to grow native species and so that we can feed them to our animals. One of my concerns about GMOs, there's very few cultivars, very few species that are being planted. And if something hits one of these species, it could wipe out everything, like the potato famine. You know, they were only growing one type of potato. That potato was very vulnerable to the fungus that came along and just wiped out everything. And look at the starvation that ensued. And I think we really are in a very precarious position.
Frank King was raised on a farm in Ohio. In addition to running his national homeopathic medicine business, he now raises bison and camel and is actively involved in the nonprofit Wild Food Foundation. He says he sees no need for GMOs.
Working with nature, we can find so many ways to increase the quality of our food, to increase the volume of our food. We do not have to go down these pathways.
Many GMO opponents credit Michael Potter of Eden Foods for being one of the first major CEOs to come out against GMOs. In 1993, decades before most Americans had even heard about this topic, Potter declared that his firm would not use any GMO ingredients, saying he objected to any aspect of genetically engineered food. He was also an early supporter of the Non-GMO Project, which verifies through third-party testing the absence of GMOs in products. And Potter and Eden Foods have been vocal supporters of efforts to require labeling of foods that do include GMO ingredients. Frank King of King Bio agrees. As the holder of multiple patents, he says he's puzzled by the opposition to labeling something that its developers say is a benefit for all mankind.
We do a lot of work in developing and special ingredients. When we invent something that we feel is going to better the world, it's going to help people. We would want to put that on our labels. Why would a company like Monsanto, for example, spend many millions of dollars preventing what we would actually want to pay for
Most GMO opponents agree this issue will ultimately be settled in the marketplace.
We definitely need to fight against any more foods coming into the marketplace. You know, they're talking about salmon and apples and sweet corn and a lot of vegetables. This is something that we definitely need to be very active in fighting.
The people need to begin to speak louder. We need to avoid being experimented upon as a human population in total.
And in fact, market forces may already be at work.
I just learned last night we're producing 9 million bushels of non-GMO corn for a Japanese beer company. It's a lot of corn, but there's some people out there that realize that people want to drink non-GMO beer.
GMO opponents say in Europe, it took a shift of only 5 to 10% of consumers away from products with GMOs to cause producers to find non-GMO ingredients. They say U.S. consumers have the same power.
We just need millions of people saying no to genetically modified foods. That's the only way this is going to stop.